John.
Sorry, I'm getting all my rage and aggression out on the
There's
gavel.
not too many of us talking.
There's really not.
There's not too many of you here.
It's a very small crowd tonight. Okay,
I am.
meeting will come to order. The secretary will confirm. We got more people coming in. Ooh, look at that. Lots of people joining here. Secretary confirmed that all board members have been notified and notice was properly posted on the association property in advance of the meeting. And we have a quorum because we have 5 of the 7 directors here, and I can tell you that the meeting notice was posted on the bulletin board on Sunday. All right. First motion is to approve the board of director meeting minutes from February 17th of 2026 as previously presented. There were no changes, right, that were reported to you?
No,
Everybody's fine? All right, do I have a motion? Okay, John, in a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nope, we're good. All right. So, let's begin. We have a very healthy agenda here tonight. So the first item up for discussion is roof repairs and procedures. So, I will talk to this. I spoke with Ron Olson, who is the owner of Itch, last week, just on what the preferred process is. And so this is where Jeff comes into play. It's so good that you're here tonight, Jeff. I got so much for you. So one of the things that he's asked us is to at least verify, before we call them out, that this is in fact a roof-related water intrusion, right? In a couple of the situations, it was not roof-related at all. And while he does have Ben who comes out and does check these things, he's just asking us to do a little bit more due diligence. I understand, people like have a leak and they automatically think it's their roof, but I was reminded by him that water is weird. Water could be coming in from a north corner and it could be affecting your south wall. It's just very weird. All it looks for is the slightest opening and it will make its way. So we've just been asked to please keep that in mind and make sure that whoever we're having come out actually looks to see if this truly is related to the roof. A reminder that we can't have anybody doing anything to the roof. We had a bit of a situation in cluster 4 where the roofing company that came out glued a tarp to the roof. Well, glue doesn't stick to a tarp, but it does stick to shingles. And so there is glue on those shingles that cannot be removed, which could put that cluster in a difficult position if there's ever a claim filed. Because the manufacturer could come back to say, these have been altered, we do not have to cover this. So, something to just keep in mind. We're not in rainy season. It's the first time I'm actually going to be grateful that we have a drought. So thankfully we don't really have any imminent weather right now. But if you suspect anything, please follow the normal process, which is reporting it to Janet. She will call somebody out. But we want to make sure every single owner and resident is aware that you don't want them doing anything to your roof that could invalidate that warranty. Because it is a 10-year manufacturer's warranty, and we have a separate 10-year workmanship warranty. So I would just remind everybody that we did have that independent auditor come out, take a look at the roofs, and they had really good positive reviews of the quality of the work and the quality of the materials used. So is there any questions about the process and what we should or should not be doing? Can I ask Don and Robin, you both are on mute, so just so you know, in case you're trying to speak.
I got you. So,
Okay. You're both good?
yeah.
Tricia, Jenny, do you have any questions? All right, moving on. Next order is for you, Robin. Pool heater.
Okay. Well, I was down there this past couple of weeks and I was approached by a few different owners that they would like to have a pool heater put in cluster 3. After speaking with a number of the owners, they asked if I could bring it in front of the board. So that's what I'm doing right now. I got an estimate from Corey. Janet also got an estimate for the electrical because we need certain electrical work properly. And also, we have to rearrange things so that the heater has a spot and all that. So it came out to a total of around $13,000.
No,
We would have
No.
to special.
Hang on one
assess-
second.
whoa, can you hear me? No,
One
13 for the electrical.
Oh, 13 was just for the electrical?
Yes, 8,314 for the part and the installation.
So you're looking at more like $22,000 for
More
a
like
heater.
$20,000.
It's more like $1,000 per unit assessment, maybe just under.
Okay, alright. I misread that then, I thought it was 13,000 total. But I thought 13,000, because you said no more than 13, so I believe that included the heater, but that's a separate cost. So we're probably looking at like you said, Janet, probably $1,000 per unit. I still would like to bring,
Robin, we lost you on audio there for a second. We lost you when you said, I would still like to bring.
front of our owners, just so that people know that we tried. I did speak to one of the realtors, that, rents in my unit, and she said it's a huge, selling point for people that are selling their units, and it's a huge plus for people that wanna rent their units, because people don't wanna come down to Florida in the winter months and not have a place to swim.
Yeah.
So, which I get, so basically I think I would still like to bring it in front of the board and to our owners to see if it's something that they would like to do.
Hey Rob, just to add on to it, I can, if you're gonna do that, it's roughly an increase of about $450, $500 per month that the heater is on in electrical cost.
Okay, thanks, Dawn, appreciate it. So that would be something I'd have to put in the letter to the owners, so that they have all the facts.
So, if you wanna pass a special assessment to do that, I need 2 weeks' notice, cause that's one of those that has to be on the board agenda, but the owners have to get the agenda 2 weeks in advance with the details.
Okay,
So you would have, to do it for the next meeting, you would have about 2 weeks from tonight to find out from your owners how they feel about it and let me know whether you want it on the agenda so I can get it out to the owners in time.
okay, so you suggest that I reach out, send a blast email to all the owners and see how they feel about it?
Well, I thought you said you were going to. I'm not suggesting that. If the board
No,
wants
no,
to put
that's
a
what
heater
I
in
wanted
5,
to
vote
know.
on.
That's what I should be doing next, or do we need to discuss it further amongst the board?
I mean,
Or is it
4.
something I just need to get in front of my owners?
3. Oh, crap.
I mean,
Okay.
I,
They also have to vote, right?
yeah, the owners in cluster 3 have to vote, which is
Right.
part of that special process. But, like, I guess maybe the appropriate step is to, you know, at least notify your owners that, hey, you have started looking into it. Here's the approximate cost that you would expect,
Okay.
per unit, and then also share the piece about the heat, or the heater, and then the increased cost just to heat the pool in those months. Like, cluster 1, we don't use this as an example, but cluster 4, like, you basically start heating your pool as soon as somebody says something, right, Dawn? And then
Pretty much.
what about in cluster 5? How does the pool heater process work?
I moved in, it was on.
Do you have like a schedule for when it's on?
Not
Is
that
it when
I
people
know of.
request it to be on?
I'm not sure.
Well, you can also set them for a temperature, and then
Yeah.
it'll just come
I
on
was
when.
under the impression that Corey just controlled it and turned it
Oh, no.
on or turned it off.
Did anybody, Janet probably knows.
Yeah, we used to turn it on and turn it off, and every time we did that, we had a service problem.
Yeah, something broke.
So we don't do that anymore.
So
We-
then Corey's in charge
Ye-
of turning it on and off?
No, no, no.
No, no, no.
You set the temperature, and if it drops below, it'll kick on.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we just left it at like 85, and that way in the summer, when it gets hot, it's not running. But when it starts to drop come November or whatever, December, it'll kick itself on. When we turned it off and then turned it back on, it didn't work, we had to always have it serviced.
Yeah.
So we haven't been doing that.
That's the cluster 1 as well. It hasn't been on, I think, in 2 years.
Yeah.
I every year we
No,
would
when
turn that
it's-
back on,
for
it died.
cluster 4, when it got very cold, when we were down there this winter, I lowered it to, I don't know, 70 something, so that it would not go as high as 87, which is what my owners like it at.
87.
But that was, you know, it was easy for me to just go out and change it in the morning or whatever the case may be.
Sounds like
But we, you know, ours is getting older too, but knock on wood, we haven't had any issues.
just wait.
Yeah, Robin, it would be an ongoing maintenance item that you're adding, and it would be a material alteration to what's already there, so your owners would need to vote. But that also needs 14-day notice. So, I mean, you don't need to put it on the agenda in May. I'm just saying if you wanted to, because that's what the price is now, who knows, you know, in a couple months. But if you do, we can do the owners meeting the same night as the board meeting, like right at the same time, just to tally that, and we'll get it out in time. If you wanna work more toward June, have some time to talk to your owners, and that way I can get the notice out a full month in advance. You'll get more proxies back.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably wait till June, Janet, that gives me a little more time to reach out to all the owners and see their feedback. Cause I have a couple of units I know that are on the market and stuff like that, so it's gonna be difficult to probably get 18 people to vote yes, but I figured I'd try, and just to be forward with all the owners with all the information.
Okay.
And it's what, is it a 2/3 majority, like, to do that?
She
Or is
needs
it
18 people to agree to do it.
And that's 24 people though, so what is, because she's got 24
18,
units.
yeah, it's 18 people, she needs 18
But is
people.
that 2/3 of the owners or
75.
75%?
I think, I don't remember, I looked it up for her, it's 18 people. That's
Math is
what
not
it
my strong suit. I can figure out fractions and percentages, et cetera. Yeah, so,
Corey did also tell me when I met with him down there, he's like, you're probably gonna need a new filter to go through to make this, heater work appropriately. He said, so you gotta incorporate that price into it too, so.
Did he
and
put that in
it's
there?
one thing after another. You guys all know that.
oh, yes, yes.
Did he put it in there? Is that in his quote?
I don't think so, no, because he said that was before, he said, especially with the electrical current, that they need to run the heater, he said, I would totally recommend, because it won't be pumping the water in through the heater the right way. So I think he didn't put that in there, I think he just put the heater price in there, from what I was looking at.
Now you see why I don't like to call him back when he calls me. Because I'm always waiting.
Well, feel your owners out, and if it is, then we'll get a mailing out, we'll get it on the board agenda for June for the special assessment, and we'll get the vote for the same night. And if the vote doesn't pass, like we can do the vote 15 minutes before the board meeting's called together, if the vote doesn't pass, we'll just skip that item on the agenda, we won't pass the special assessment.
Okay, sounds great, thank you.
All right, anything else about that? Otherwise, it's just gonna be tabled until the June meeting?
Yep, let's just table that till June. I'll get some more information and go from there.
Okay, next order is discussion of cluster 1 decks and pool lights.
So, there are 4 decks in cluster 1 that have, some rotting and work that needs to be done to them. There, we have an estimate from Island Maintenance for $13,500, made, material and labor included. For like their structural integrity and I don't know much else about that.
So part of it is that normally they wrap the posts in metal to protect them. That was not done at the time because the director at the time said that there just wasn't the money to do it. And there's also the roofs or the ceilings of the decks are supposed to have some metal flashing as well that would protect, and that wasn't done either, which is why our decks, balconies look the way that they do. So this is going back 5 years. And he came out and gave us an updated quote based on today's prices, which is why it's as high as it is.
How much is it
How
now?
much was it, Laura? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
$13,500 for the four,
13?
yeah, for the 4 decks.
And I did ask for a second,
You did?
yeah, I got a second opinion. I mean, a second, it didn't come in yet, but I did ask for a second quote, yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where we just want the board to be aware of it, that there's, I mean, from what I understand, there's no choice, we have to have it done. But it's just, it's gonna be a costly expense. So hopefully the next company will be a little bit less.
You have the money in reserves to take up a large chunk of it, but you do have it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the light in the pool, we replaced one of them already, but we have to replace the second one, so that's roughly another $27.94, to replace that before the health inspector comes and gives us another citation.
John and Robin, could you hear that?
I heard about the pool light, but I didn't hear how much.
Yeah, so it's about $27.94. I asked Corey, like, why, oh why, are these so expensive? And he said that one light bulb costs $1,300. And and he's not buying them, they're not gold, so I don't know why. But part of the challenge is that there's also 150 feet of cable that has to go with it. As Janet said before the meeting started, the cable that's existing on the second light could still be good, and it won't have to be replaced, so it could fall well under $27.94. It's just, we have to have enough money to cover whatever it is. We haven't been cited by the health department for the second light, but he anticipates that we will be when they come back out to check that we replaced the first one. So, I think right now what Jenny's asking for is the approval to go ahead and have the second light taken care of, before we get cited by the health department again.
But that's down here, we do that down here.
Oh, yeah, but that's
It's in, it's there too.
oh, yeah. That's what happens in pool lighting. But that
Yeah,
hasn't been an expenditure
when the
yet.
amateur adds to the,
But that hasn't been, we haven't approved that to be an expenditure. This is just us approving.
you're not supposed to approve anything before the board meeting, just sometimes
No, I
things
know, but
happen.
this. Oh, okay.
Sometimes yeah, I usually have, do you remember way back when, we had 2 motions. One was for, we were ratifying some that had happened during the month, and the other was to approve items that were
Okay.
coming up. So anything over 1,000 needs approval.
I know the last one was approved at the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions or comments on cluster 1 report?
No,
Next up is gutter replacement.
okay.
Fun! Is that cluster 1 only again?
You know,
There was something, one of these had cluster 2 in it also.
I've been getting you quotes, so, SoFlo, and I only brought 2, 4, and 5, because I was gonna give you, I got the second one today, just came in from Brothers Gutters.
Oh, yeah.
But he only did 2, 4, and 5, because he did 2, and they're gonna be the same. But 1, 3, and 6 have different stuff, and he needs to spend some time and get the quote together.
Okay.
But to completely replace gutters at 2, 4, and 5 is $23,400.
2 are, maybe they replace in 5?
They all need to, they're all really old, but it's up to you. I mean, you don't have to jump on this now.
Okay.
But
And you said
we've had gutter companies tell us that they won't fix them anymore, because they're so old, they won't mess with them. But they'll clean them, but they won't fix them.
And you said
Was
23?
that proportionate for, so 23,400, it would be split evenly between 2, 4, and 5?
That's each.
No, that's each. And,
That's not good.
and then we had one from SoFlo, and just to give you an idea, for 2 was 26,000, 4 was 23,881, and 5 was 23,310. So they're kind of comparable, so you're looking at around that amount of money there.
Would that come out of reserves,
It could, if you wanted to do them, yeah.
out of building reserves, right? Okay.
So, I also had one that you sent me, or somebody sent me from, what is this one, Leaf Filter, that was for cluster 1 for $11,199, because they were using existing they were able to work with the existing stuff and not have to replace everything.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine if you wanna go with them. I didn't bring it because I was asked to get quotes for full replacement, but we've been told by more than one company that yours are so old that they won't repair them. So I don't know what Leaf Filter saw or did.
Well-
I don't know if they got up there and looked at them.
So, it was the gentleman that Austin referred us to. He came out and he had actually pointed out the differences. So, like over my unit, for instance, it's seamless, which told him that those gutters are less than 10 years old. And so, he was not recommending full replacement of those because they look like they're in good condition versus
Right.
some of them that you can see the seaming,
Mhm.
and those are older. So, that begs the question, is the lower quote, is that appropriate, or is the bigger quote more appropriate, or did the bigger quote just say, oh, well, we were told to do full, and didn't pay attention to whether or not some of them are still in good condition?
That's what I think.
Well, you might wanna wait for this one then, because he didn't include them all in one, because he
Okay.
wants to come spend time at the other, so.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, I'm
this
sorry.
other one too, so close, for cluster one was $17,562. So,
So
Are
yours is
we-
even lower than the 20s, yeah.
yeah, so I guess we'll see what the Brothers Gutters has to say about their thoughts.
No.
Does this include like a leaf guard or anything, so like, to keep the black olive leaves out of the gutters and all that other good stuff?
Nope.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I talked to more than one of the companies, and they said that they don't even recommend those with the types of foliage that we have here. Like the fir trees, those lovely evergreens that we'd all light a match to if we could, it won't stop those,
Okay.
so,
And they'll clog it up, and they're a pain in the butt to get off to clean.
yeah. Robin, do you have anything? If you do, you're on mute.
So Jenny, you're considering it for cluster one?
She budgeted for it.
Yeah.
Wait, budgeted for it?
It was part of the reason why we got in the was to account for doing better replacement this year.
But did we put it in a line item?
I don't know. You would have to look back and see what was decided, or if it was reserved. But it was one of the things that was considered to be a cost, a known cost for cluster one for this year. Anybody, Robin, I'm assuming you don't have anything to add, since you didn't pipe in. Okay, Jim, you had a question or comment?
Yeah, real quick, when you
Computer
mentioned
kicked her
it,
off. She just texted me,
Okay,
so
When you-
she's got it reboot.
okay.
when you mentioned the seamless, we had that done. A
Yeah,
lot of our
last year.
stuff was seamless from a company called Rain to Shine,
Okay,
and they did better than, somebody else came out and did this, the gutter on the back of the one side, and it fell down, and,
yeah,
yeah,
and
so,
that's because the wood behind it was rotted, and
Yeah.
they attached it to rotten wood.
yeah. But that wasn't Rain to Shine, that was
No,
somebody
it was
else.
somebody else, yeah. I know. There's Robin back. Anything else about the gutters, since obviously we're gonna wait for the other quotes to come in?
So do you want that on the next agenda when you have the third quote then?
Yes, so.
Yeah.
Okay, to vote on?
Yeah.
Unless you wanna approve the 11. I don't know what that entails. If you wanna do that, then.
I'd like to see the third one.
Okay.
I mean, they're not falling off, so,
Okay.
alright. Alright, next up is consideration of memorial trees. Robin, this one is you.
What is,
This is what happens when you let me edit the agenda. Robin, are you there, or should I, this is your brainchild. Is she still trying to get in, Dawn? Otherwise, we'll skip. We'll skip to the next one, how about that? Okay, next up is consideration of parking spaces. Tricia, this one's you.
I don't wanna move any of the marked parking spots, but I'd like to mark the unmarked parking spots, either visitor or resident, at least along
And you're-
59th Street.
So what she said is she's not looking to move any of the marked parking spots, but she's looking to mark them either, the unmarked ones, either visitor or resident.
And add a few more visitors on that, 59th Street. I know some were taken away, and there's like 3 over there now.
I think we talked about this at the last meeting, though.
Yeah.
We did, yeah,
So why is it on here again?
because we didn't actually come to
We
a
didn't.
consensus
Oh.
about it. Because we wanted to find out, there's a cost to paint the letters, and that's, not a small amount of money. Did you do the analysis of your cars versus the number of spaces?
I mean, I didn't go around counting how many, 'cause I don't know how many people, have cars per unit. I just know that that's that one outside is constantly, vacant, isn't it? On the
The
residence.
unmarked?
Yeah. So just adding a couple, I think would help with visitors parking.
Because you have 5 over in cluster 5, right? 'Cause you got 2 on the end by cluster 4, and then the ones over along 59.
There's 3.
Dawn, Robin, do you have anything? Like, I will be honest with you, I don't think that we should, paint over the unmarked with anything, because I think that, number one, it could be kind of junky looking if we have all of the spots marked in some way with resident or whatever. I do think that the visitor spots could take a repainting, because it's 2 years old, maybe, since we last painted them.
I think it's confusing, not to interrupt you, like when people come here and all these are just unmarked.
Mhm.
And especially if they're here for a baby shower and they park right there and then someone calls and a tow truck pulls up and tries to tow their car when they're gonna be in here for 2 hours,
Yeah,
which happened to me.
and part of it is that,
And because they're just unmarked,
yeah,
so they don't know, they're like, oh, it's not a marked spot, so it's not somebody's assigned spot, but it doesn't say anything.
Visitor.
So people assume when you're here at the clubhouse, you can park right there. And in fact,
But it does say on the clubhouse rental to make your guests aware that they
Yeah.
may not park in front of those condos.
And then there's only a few
Yeah.
visitor spots out front.
yeah.
So you have a baby shower with 20 people, and then you just assume
And they
that-
have to park in, we've sent them, whenever
Mhm.
I've had events here, I always have to tell them to park up in the strip mall. That's about the best option they're gonna have, because we do have limited visitor parking because the need for residential parking is so high.
Mhm.
If you're gonna do it, I'm going between you. I don't know that you want the cost. And I
So what
agree,
is
it
the
might look
cost?
junky.
You mentioned it last time and I didn't write it down, do you remember?
Per letter, isn't it?
No,
It's like a
You'd say-
stencil and then they
It's per letter, I know that.
per letter, that's what I was thinking, maybe if you guys came up with a little, like a PS, like, we put a little PS in the center. Something, you know, for Pebble Springs, and not the full resident, you know, word.
Well, and I think too, part of the whole parking situation is it's the residents' responsibility to notify their guests where they can and cannot park. And so if that's being done, we shouldn't have a lot of issues with people not knowing where to park. I'm trying to see if we can find the price for it. So you wanna add how many visitor spots
Just
over
like
there?
maybe 3 more.
I don't know, did I write it down? Did I send it to you
You
in
emailed it.
email, or
You did
did I?
email it.
Okay.
And so you have how many unmarked spots over there right now? Cause part of the reason as well that we did put unmarked spots over there is because we had residents who were parking their only vehicle in unmarked spots instead of using their assigned parking spots. And so we wanna make sure that we have the appropriate number of parking spots, so that's why we had said to do the audit of the actual vehicles in each unit, so that way we know how many parking spots are actually needed on this property. Like, when I went around and figured out cluster 1, I saw 10 differences in what we had versus what actually is in effect. So I still think before we make any changes about adding, visitor, we still need to make sure that we have enough unmarked to accommodate this community. So, do you know, is the information in the system, CNS system, up to date as far as people reporting what they're supposed to report, or?
In the Comto?
Yeah, no, not in the Comto system, but in the CNS system, if we were to pull like the vehicle list by cluster.
Everything but what you guys gave me on those last two fix-it things, I still haven't done those.
What fix it is?
Where you said this one's gone, that one's gone, I
Oh.
haven't taken them out.
Okay.
I know in my
And I was
cluster,
scared.
I mean, no, it needs a lot of updating, at least for my cluster, we have vehicles out there that have been traded in. So I agree with you, Laura, that I think we have to do, we kinda have to do an inventory, if you will, of the vehicles, get the list of vehicles updated within CNS, and then see what we have.
Well, the
Make sure we
CNS
have
matches,
adequate number of spots.
CNS matches Comto.
Which is concerning because, like I told you, cluster one, I don't know how, I found like 10 discrepancies. So maybe it's the type of thing where the directors send out a notice to their units and say, we need to know what cars you have in the system for this unit, because we're assessing our parking situation, and we need to know what the need is. I mean, is that something that you all feel is doable?
I
I mean, I can,
Go ahead, Rob.
no, that's what I thought. I was just thinking, like, we're doing that, just probably, or,
Robin, your phone is like breaking up on us.
that. I thought maybe a good idea is when we do check with our owners, maybe ask them what cars they have registered at that time, so that we can compare it to Conto's and update it as well.
I mean, honestly, I look at mine on the website and my car's not listed there. And I got a tag back in October. And I know a couple others that no longer have these vehicles.
Yeah, you should send the reports, I can show you.
No, that's not true, all of them are in there. I just did an audit, like 2 weekends ago. Of,
Vehicle, if I look at a vehicle, they report the vehicle list by address.
are you picking vehicle 1 and 2?
That wasn't an option.
Just doing everything for my own cluster.
No, go, all right, let me think what it's called. Random data report, and of the list of things that you can pick vehicle 1 and vehicle 2.
So I'm just doing
So
the
this is
vehicle
under
list.
resident reports that are available?
No, board.
I don't have a
Board.
board report option.
Well, it's
Oh,
It's
it's
under
over here,
resident.
yeah. Okay, so you said, what is it?
random data.
Oh, cause that just goes off.
Random data.
Well, because
Oh,
it's got
there we
everything
go.
on there. Yeah, it's got
Random
everything you,
data. Oh, my.
I mean, not necessarily what you have me tracking, you may not be using
Vehicle
them all.
1 and 2.
Vehicles 1 and 2,
Look at this.
and then,
Mine isn't there.
it is there?
No, it's not.
No.
Alright, let's take a look.
Do you have a rental or something, Dawn? What do you got?
No, I got a ticket. You gave me a tag back in October.
So, cluster 5.
What are you looking at, cluster 5?
I'm looking at cluster 5 right now. Trying to find, Tricia, what's your unit? 5940? Let's see.
I mean, like, one of my owners has the same plate number for 2 different kinds of cars.
What?
Yeah. A Chevy Colorado and a GMC Canyon, and they both have the same plate number. Vehicle 1 and vehicle 2. Same thing on another owner and another.
That's not right, something's wrong with the report that you're pulling, something's wrong with the report. There's not 3 cars in there with the same tag.
Well, no, 3 owners with 2 cars that have the same tag, that have the same
It's under board, you said?
I mean,
license plate.
it's under, if you go in under residence, and you click on reports.
Reports, and there's a board section in there. if
Yeah,
you're
there's a
board
drop down
member.
at the top left that will say
Do
board
you still
or
have that
resident.
report up for 5?
Yeah. your random data.
I would not have looked for it there.
No, I didn't even know about that. And then select both payment plan and.
Mine says cluster 1 or cluster 2.
Scroll down,
3, 4, 5.
and make sure you select both payment plan and regular for your cluster. And
Payment plan roof.
Yep, because that's how we had to separate it for those who were paying, and then make sure you just select vehicle 1 and 2 as the search parameters. But I have it, I can email it to you.
Well, I can send them to you.
Oh,
So you guys too.
Because you know where they
I
are.
have just like a regular. I can find it.
Yeah, all those reports that are in the board portion are not to be shared with owners, but they're all for you. You can
Yeah.
get your balance sheet at any time, you can get delinquency report.
Yeah. But if we can at least, if we can use this report to get the information, then we know how many parking spots we actually need. And then we can make, because I mean, all along, I think we've said that this is gonna have to fluctuate, just because you never know. I mean, we had how many people in cluster 1 that got rid of a second vehicle, or somebody, moved, so, yeah. So Robin and Dawn, Janet's gonna email both of your reports to you. And so Fiona and Jerry will get it as well and probably wonder why, but that's why.
Wait, what am I doing? I'm
You're
emailing it to
emailing-
everybody?
Yeah, each cluster gets their vehicle report, so we can confirm who has what. And then we can figure out what parking is needed for each cluster.
I just know
We
that
can
on
find
that
out how
side
we
of
can
the
run
road
it
is vacant
going
all the time,
forward.
because I live on that side, I don't see anyone parked
So we
Parking
can
there.
So there's,
make sure it gets updated.
Yeah,
Again, stop, it is updated. What you need, you can look at them and see who's got 1 car and 2 cars, but you need to know which units are rentals also. Because they might have 1 car now, but when they rent, then there's 2 cars. So we have to have the second vehicle slot available for those that, especially the ones that are, these are second homes that all they do is rent them.
I mean, so honestly, we should be taking into consideration the need for 2 parking spots per unit.
Absolutely.
I don't
Absolutely.
even think we have that many.
I don't think you have enough. I'm just,
No,
yeah,
we
I'm
don't
just
have
saying,
that.
yeah.
Somewhere I have that horrible thing that I created years ago. Okay, well, at least we have a starting point.
Well, and what is everybody's thoughts on what Tricia asked? I mean, I'm not being smart, but if the others, the rest of you are in favor of it, then we'll move forward. If the rest of you are against it, then we don't even need to worry
Well,
about it.
so
So one way or
I
another.
am in favor, obviously, of reevaluating, the visitor spots and how many we have versus how many we need. I do think we need to repaint over the visitor, so it clearly says visitor again, because it's been worn off over 2 years. But I don't want to have any other markings on the unmarked spots, just because I don't want, I mean, we had complaints from people who had a visitor spot in front of their house that they were just livid because they felt it was tacky. So I think if we go and if we paint every single one of them with that, we're gonna have, people complaining as well. No, actually it wasn't.
Oh, no.
Somebody else, yep. So, that's my opinion, but Dawn, Robin,
I think we should definitely repaint to make them clearly visible, so people, especially at night coming in, it's kind of hard to see where the visitors spots are, so I definitely think that, and as far as, Lakemore and the other spots, I think we should hold off on it until we figure out how many spots we have that are available and what we're gonna do with that.
Dawn,
I tend to agree. I mean, those of us that are familiar with the property know where the visitors are, know where the unmarked are. And over in cluster 5, I mean, we have that whole row next to the 59th Street that we purposely switched over some so that we had adequate number of unmarked spots. You know, demographics change, so I think it is incumbent on us to see what we got before we make any changes.
okay. So we'll get those reports and we can review and see what the clusters each need versus what we've got. And somewhere I have a map that I had where all the parking spots were laid out. So I will find that to help us
I think I have it too.
as well. But then we can revisit it at the May meeting. Jenny, do you have an opinion? I forgot to ask you.
I agree that we should evaluate how many and what pages.
Okay, so we will, add this back onto the May meeting, to actually dig into it, but, also we should probably, like, do we know when they do paint those, do they paint it with reflective paint? So you can see that it's visitor when you're pulling in at night, do you know?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
they
don't
were
think so.
reflective.
No.
Do
I
they
don't.
have that, or is that just a street? There's no reflective paint?
No, none that I've seen.
Why not?
You talk about visitor spots?
Yeah, so there's nothing that would be like a reflective paint?
There is, oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
I bet you- Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so to write visitor, it can be reflective, so it's very clear to whoever's pulling in there. Okay.
Yeah, you can.
You know